Welcome to Great Lakes Comic-Con 2018. I am Paul Smith, your host, and joining alongside of me is Ben Smith, and we are going to be taking you through all this action in this two-day event.
Yeah, Comic-Con is back, and we were here just a year ago. We had so much fun, we decided to come back, but like most superhero movie sequels, we decided to come back and do it bigger and better.
And you know, Ben, putting on a Comic-Con, it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
and,
not
you know,
easy.
I had a chance to sit down with the man who created this event, Mike DeSantis. All right, Mike, we've known each other for a long time now, going back to Great Lakes Comic-Con 2017. We've talked so much over Facebook and emails. Finally glad to actually have you sit down and have a conversation, so thank you for being here with me
Happy
today.
To be here.
So first, can you kind of tell me, you know, we're here for Great Lakes Comic-Con. How did this all get started?
Well, it all started about 8 years ago, actually. We started a local show at VFW Hall, Frazo and Gratiot area. I don't think it's even there anymore. It's since been turned into something else. But it started out basically just, you know, the passion I had at the time for comic books and, you know, thinking way back. I mean, I think I learned how to reading Spider-Man and things like that. So I've always been into this stuff. But just trying to get something in the community, Macomb County area, you know, that basically focused on comics, toys, that kind of genre. And from there, it just grew over time. So here we are, Macomb Community College, with a pretty big event compared to what we used to do years ago.
So did someone kind of like come to you and like, or were we just kind of sitting down with some buddies and you're just like, oh man, why can't we just, you know, we've been to like Comic-Cons before,
Right.
Can we just kind of go, like, let's make our own?
Actually, there was pushing and prodding from my father-in-law, actually, who was part of the VFW hall that we were at Frazo and Gratiot. And at the time, it was, you know, 2010. I know the economy was just down and then starting to come up a little bit. They were looking at a way to generate revenue for the VFW hall. So the idea was, you know, you collect comic books, he's telling me this, you know, let's get an event here to where, you know, we gave them part of the door admissions, just trying to help them pay bills, et cetera. And that's really where it started. It was something that I'd been thinking about doing at the time, but he kind of gave me the push to do it. And it just did so well that it just made sense just to keep doing it. And since then, you know, as I said, that venue's no longer there, but we've moved to other venues over time, and it's just grown since then. So it's just something where, I guess in the back of my mind, it's something I've always wanted to do, but the push just came with him pushing to say, hey, let's do this.
So what's the process like kind of starting the Comic-Con? You know, obviously you don't just, you know, you start with the venue hall. What's the next step after that?
I chuckle because it's a lot of work. Well, basically just start, I mean, getting your name out, getting known is always the biggest thing. And I think every business would say that. The hardest thing is, you know, how do you advertise and draw in customers, so to speak, you know? And so what we did is just kind of, social media really helped out a lot, of course. You know, it's really easy to set things up on Facebook, Twitter, et cetera, and just kind of get things going from there. Word of mouth, I think, was the biggest thing. What we were offering at the time, and I think we still do offer, is enough of a positive experience that people do tell their friends, whether it's the vendors telling their friends, hey, you got to set up at this show, or whether it's customers coming through the door, or even someone like you too, who saw it last year, and you're like, hey, I'm coming back again, you know, so it's been really exciting on what we've done. So it started out small and just grew from that, and it's just the process over time, and here we are 8 years later, that just that process of word of mouth, getting advertising out, et cetera, it's grown over time.
So this year, Great Lakes Comic-Con 2018, you guys decided to do a theme this year, Heroes and Villains. Can you kind of talk about how that came to what it is?
Yeah, and actually we've done a theme the last several years. We did a 1980s theme a couple years back. We last year did the Spider-Man theme. We had people involved in, you know, the genre basically for Spider-Man. It makes it a little more difficult when you're getting guests, but we're trying again just to do something the other shows really aren't doing, or something that we don't think they're doing, to make our stand apart. And one was the themes. And so the guests we bring in, we try to bring them in that they all somehow relate to the theme. And it was easy with Heroes and Villains. I mean, you're talking comic books and toys, you got Heroes and Villains. But when we had people like, you know, Greatest American Hero was the first guest we got for this one. And so I was like, hey, there's our hero, of course. And then we kind of went from there. We have David Kay, who did the voice of Megatron, so there's the villain. And then, of course, we got linked up to Ted DiBiase, who, if you're into WWE, WWF, I mean, he's always the villain. Yes, yes. I mean, the things that he did back in the day, I just remember going, God,
surprisingly, what he did.
Yeah, you're like, you're a jerk, you know? But it was all just the persona, of course, you know? But that's what made it work, and we figured, hey, Heroes and Villains works perfectly. And of course, there's many other guests that fit that mold. I don't, you know, need to name all here, but it's something where the theme, we figure, kind of drives the show, and we feel it does a little more for the advertising for it and just getting the word out, like, hey, the theme is Heroes and Villains. I've actually got a list of several themes for the next couple of years. Just some ideas we're thinking of that if we can get the guests to line up, it'll work well.
All right, so Mike, final question. When I say Comic-Con, what does Comic-Con mean to you?
Well, first, fun, there you go. No, but it does. I mean, it's something that's kind of cool where people come together who all have same interests, you know, whether it's, you know, anime, comic books, movies, toys, whatever. And it's just kind of cool to get everyone together who all just really love that kind of stuff. And it's something where too, and maybe, you know, if you're into some of this stuff too, you can just mention one thing, whether it's even the movie that was out, Black Panther's out this weekend or the past weekend. You know, everyone's aware of that. And when you talk about things like the Infinity Stones, and people know it's such a part of our culture now that it's just so cool. So what I like most about it when I think about it here at Comic-Con is just people coming together, just celebrating and enjoying things they love and enjoy about pop culture.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right,
I appreciate
no problem.
everything. That
Happy
was
to come in. Thanks for inviting me in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Had a good time.
You know, Mike DeSantis is such a great guy. He, you know, he does everything to put on this event to make it such a special one, but we are definitely going to hear from him a little bit later in the show.
Absolutely right, but we're going to take a quick break right here and now. And when we come back, we're going to introduce you to our new floor reporters here at Great Lakes Comic Con 2018. And of course, we'll continue to take a look back at Great Lakes Comic Con 2017. We'll be right back after this.
My Warren is living a healthy lifestyle at the Warren Community Center. My Warren is meeting up with friends at Coonan Brewery.
My Warren is hanging out on a Friday night at Warren City Square Ice Rink.
To share your My Warren story, head on over to mywarren.org. Click on My Warren Stories, and that will take you to our Facebook page to upload your video. Welcome back to the set here at Great Lakes Comic Con 2018. And you know, Ben, it's not just us this year. We're going to have two floor reporters that are going to be giving you so much more on the Comic Con floor, so let's meet them.
All right, guys, that's right. We're going to be the eyes and ears right here on the main floor of the Great Lakes Comic Con.
We're going to show you all the costumes, including winners from the costume contest.
And I'll be asking all the vendors, what's at your booth?
Let's go take a look.
Let's do it.
Oh, wait, Nick.
All right, Nick, Megan, we look forward to hearing more from you as we continue throughout Great Lakes Comic Con 2018. I tell you what, Paul, Great Lakes Comic Con 2017 was such a huge success. It was so much fun, not only for us, but for, you know, everyone here at Great Lakes Comic Con. We want to show you just what exactly happened a year ago with a quick highlight package from 2017. Let's take a look.
You know, last year, Ben, we got to talk to a lot of awesome people, and some of these people are high-profile characters, like Jake the Snake Roberts, the WWE Hall of Fame wrestler. And so I had a chance to sit down and talk to him. Let's hear what he had to say. I'm here with Jake the Snake Roberts, WWE Hall of Famer. So Jake, can you just first tell me how you got into wrestling?
I did the dumbest thing possible. I never trained for it. I did not like it. My father wrestled. My father, 7 foot and weighed 425, a little bigger than I am. My 18-year-old brain said, if you want your dad to be proud of you, you need to get in the ring and beat up one of those wrestlers. Well, I went up and beat on the mat and finally got a guy's attention, and not a good thing. He just really roughed me up. Bottom line, I crawled out of the ring and crawled back to the locker room.
So basically try to use all that as motivations to
show me what it takes. Lead me the way. I'll do whatever. I'll cut corners. I'll cheat. I'll do whatever I have to do. but I got to be better than him. So for 38 years, I did that, and I became quite successful.
Can you kind of just take us through like the evolution of wrestling from when you were in it to about now?
When we were doing it, it was more of a chess match. Now it seems that they just go out there and do a million different things, hoping something will stick to the wall. I feel for the talent because they're great athletes, unbelievable athletes, much better than we were. But there's no meat to what they're doing. You know, there's no art to it. It's just hurry up and do as much as you can for as long as you can. And that's not it, man. It should be a chess match. You should be having intrigue and mystery, have all these things. Man, wrestling is such fun, man, if it's done right.
So we're here at the Great Lakes Comic-Con. What is your favorite part about attending these events?
Meeting the fans. You know, the fans built Jake Roberts. You know, they're so awesome, man. Through thick and thin, they've never given up on me. They didn't give up on me when I gave up on myself.
Awesome. I really appreciate you being here today, Jake. I appreciate everything.
Yeah, checks in the mail.
Once again, thank you so much, Jake, for sitting down with me and kind of telling me about a little bit of your life post-wrestling. But
Yeah,
for all
super
you,
interesting,
yeah, but for all you wrestling fans out there, you are not going to want to miss this year. We are going to have the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, sitting down with us. Like I said, you're not going to want to miss that. But Ben, wrestling stars aren't the only ones here.
Yeah.
I understand that we had a pretty big TV star here last year.
We did, yeah. Not only a big TV star, he was the original Spider-Man, the first time Spider-Man was gracing the screen, but he was also one of the Von Trapp children from The Sound of Music, which is a movie my mom made me watch no less than 80 times as a child. And I did have a chance to talk to him last year at Comic-Con, Great Lakes Comic-Con 2017. Here's a look at some of the highlights from our discussion.
And we have the original Spider-Man with us here now, Mr. Nicholas Hammond. Mr. Hammond, thank you so much for being with us.
You're very, very welcome. I'm delighted to be here. This is really fun.
So you were the Spider-Man in the original TV series, kind of the first televised and/or film Spider-Man. Yeah. And you have an interesting point of view in the superhero film genre, because as you know now, it's this huge billion dollar franchise of everything. And as you saw it from your point of view in the 70s to where it is now, what's your interesting perspective on it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it has grown, as you say, enormously. I mean, when we started out, we were taking baby steps, and we didn't really know what we were doing. Of course, we never ever imagined, despite the popularity of the comic books and of Marvel and of Stan Lee, but we didn't know whether it was going to translate into a live action show as well as it did. Now with, you know, the millions of dollars and the technology and the effects they can invest into it, what Toby has done and what Andrew have done in carrying the torch of the character, I think they've made it a wonderful franchise.
So we're at the Great Lakes Comic-Con in Warren, Michigan, and you're on TV Warren right now. We're here with Nicholas Hammond, the original Spider-Man. And what's your favorite thing about coming to these types of events?
I find it fascinating when the people come up, everybody's got an interesting story. If they come about Spider-Man, then I love hearing what it meant to them as a kid, what it now means to them, if they're reintroducing our series to their children or their children's children. And it's gratifying to know that you did something, even a long time ago, that people to this day still remember really fondly.
Well, you mentioned something that's kind of been long-lasting, and my mom would kill me if I did not mention The Sound of Music. Friedrich von Trapp was your character. I mean, one of the most legendary films of all time. I know you've probably been asked every question in the world, but I got to ask you, being a part of a film like on the level of Citizen Kane, or just one of those inspirational movies that will be around forever, that'll be in the vault of films, what is that like from your perspective?
It's a huge gift.
Yeah.
To be in a classic movie, whether it's Gone with the Wind or Singing in the Rain or ours, Sound of Music, sometimes you forget how lucky you were to be in something that had such an impact on so many lives. And to know that you were just a small part of something that really was so significant in the film industry is a great privilege.
Well, thank you so much for being on with us. Nicholas Hammond, the original Spider-Man.
So thank you to Nick Hammond for last year's interview. And one quick fact about him, and I know you were there, Paul, for this. He actually, off camera and after we did the interview, sent a happy birthday message to my
that was
mom.
so nice.
So that's just kind of off camera. It shows you how nice that guy was, and really informative to hear all about his film and television career. But we're actually very much excited for this year as well. In 2018,
So excited.
we have The Greatest American Hero of one of the most cult classic shows in the history of television. William Catt, star of Carrie as well. He will be with us here,
Right here.
on set,
Right here.
in upcoming episodes. So we look forward to bringing you that discussion as well. But I tell you what, Paul, we are at Comic-Con 2018. And I tell you what, the lifeblood of this show, other than the fans and the cosplayers and stuff, it's the people that are here from early on until the end of the event. That's the vendors. They're the heart and soul of this event, really.
Yeah, anywhere you walk, any corner, any alleyway, there's going to be artists, there's going to be toys, there's going to be collectibles. And these are the vendors that supply everything here to you people that want to come out and get all this cool stuff. But like you said, they come from, out of state, all over the state, the country, but we're going to focus on the local vendor here right in Warren, my uncle, Stephen Bama. So Steve, how many years have you been attending Great Lakes Comic-Con?
Great Lakes Comic-Con, I think this is my 6th or 7th year that I've been coming here.
Okay, so can you tell me what it was like the first time you came here to now? Because it's pretty big.
The first year it was just in the size of a decent sized classroom. And there was only maybe a dozen or 15 vendors. And over the years, you can see it's grown into something so much bigger, and a lot more people are attending now.
Speaking of t-shirts, I'm wearing one of yours right now. Can you kind of explain to me what this t-shirt is and what kind of other things you're selling at your booth?
Well, that's my classic horror shirt. Those are the 5 main Universal classic monsters: Frankenstein, Dracula, the werewolf, mummy, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. Those are like the 5 main ones, and that's kind of my first love, or the old black and white classic movies. Hence the name Classic Horrors.
So what are some of the other things you're going to be selling? I know you have t-shirts. Do you have like collectibles? Do you have sweatshirts?
Well, I only sell things that has my artwork on them. So I sell t-shirts, hoodies, prints, posters, trading cards, buttons.
What do you look forward to the most when attending a Comic-Con event?
Well, you know what, more than anything is getting to see people that, say over the course of, since last year, Great Lakes Comic-Con, I might have met some people, say, on social media. Now I get to meet them. Sure, you can go to my website at www.classichorrorsbystephenbama.com.
Awesome. Thank you much for...
Hey.
Appreciate everything. Thank you so much, Stephen Bama. We're going to be hearing more from you in a little bit, but we just previewed everything that 2017 had to offer, and now we're going to move forward on to 2018, what we are so excited for. It's here. It's finally here.
Yeah.
But when we come back, we're going to preview everything that 2018 has to offer. The door locks behind you. A large, menacing timer begins counting down from 1 hour. You're not sure where to begin. You just know you must escape the room before the timer reaches 0. Your heart is pounding now. You are so close to escaping, but just as close to becoming stuck in the room forever. At Breakout Escape Rooms, there are 3 scenarios you can try to escape from: the Ringmaster Den, Game of Espionage, and Zombie Roadhouse. Once you choose your room, it's time for the games to begin.
Welcome back to Great Lakes Comic-Con 2018 right here on TV Warren. I'm Ben Smith, joined alongside Paul Smith, and we have so much more for you here in this event. But we got to kick off 2018 here and now. And you met Nick Candela earlier, and he actually had a chance to follow around Stephen Bama, who we just discussed before the break, as he set up his booth for 2018 and got things ready here at Great Lakes Comic-Con 2018. Nick, take it away.
You ever wonder what it's like behind the scenes at a Comic-Con? Artist Stephen Bama takes you there.
Well, so far, we're here waiting at Great Lakes Comic-Con, and as soon as they open up this door, we all get to unpack all the stuff that's in these vans and trudge it in there and set it up where they set it. Hey guys, we're opening the door. Let's go see where we are. Hey, and I get a comic book too. 415 right here. Oh, this is a good spot. We're just moving those a little bit so we have room to get in and out. We're not supposed to do that, so don't tell anybody. All right, now it's time to get to work. See, if you get here early, you can get right by the door. Today, normally, once a few of us, get unloaded and get settled, then we'll go across the street to Cavan's and have lunch, and then we can, wander back and make fun of everybody that's still setting up. Depending on the shows, you've been doing this a while, you know what kind of stuff sells at certain kinds of shows. So I don't even bother bringing things that I know just aren't gonna sell here. I'll bring them to a different show. Otherwise, you've got to unload all this stuff, so why bring in stuff that you don't really need? So I just leave that stuff at home. Work smart, not hard. I don't know about anybody else, but yeah, I kind of have my little show rituals. About getting up early and doing this, and I wear certain things, and these are my convention shoes. Comic book people and horror movie people that come to these conventions, they're completely different than a sports fan, but they're just as fanatical. There could be 18 inches of snow and people are still going to go to a Lions game. These people will still go to their Comic-Cons and, meet celebrities and buy their comic books or whatever they're looking for. They don't care. It's a fun day out.
A big thank you to artist and vendor Stephen Bema for taking us behind the scenes. For TV Warren's coverage of the Great Lakes Comic Con, I'm Nick Candela.
Great job, Nick. That was really informational, learning what it was really like to be, behind the scenes of a vendor and what it really takes to set up a booth. But Stephen Bema has been coming here for years now, ever since this originally started.
Yeah, he's been a guy who's been here from, like you said, right at the beginning. And Paul, I think it is now time in this show that we kind of really kick it into gear.
We're gonna
check out. Yeah, we got to check out what's actually coming up here in 2018. So why not return to your discussion with Mike DeSantis about everything that he has planned here for Great Lakes Comic Con 2018.
Okay, well, the main thing would be, the DIAOA. We got Detroit Institute of Arts. We've linked up with them to where we've got this rolling classroom, basically, a mobile classroom that's going to be parked outside the front, 53-foot trailer. And it's got different displays in there, things that they're pushing to get people more involved in coming to see what the DIA has to offer. So I felt that was pretty cool in terms of linking up with them for this show. We also have, the guests that we've talked about and the different things that we do in terms of, we've got prize draws, we've got things from costume contests. We've got cosplayers coming to this show that we have not had before that actually were invited by us to be at this show. So of course we've always had people dressed up, but we actually have a couple coming that are specifically coming to be at our show. So those are things that we're doing. Some other things we're adding, we have gaming, of course, we've always had. A new piece this year is we're doing what's called prototype gaming. We've got people who, they're trying to publish a game, trying to get something going, whether it's through a Kickstarter or other things, that they're coming to our show to demonstrate their games. So it's one of those things where, I don't know how you were when you were younger, but there's times where I would get a piece of cardboard and draw little squares and, hey, here's my game, And so you've got people who are doing this who are really trying to be published and, successful with it. So there are several different things we're doing this year that we did not do last year. And that's something, again, we're always, you don't want a cookie cutter format, of course, but you always want something that, somebody out there is going to say, oh, I need to go this year because this is there or that is there. Not a thing of, oh, well, they did that before and I already saw it. So the idea is always trying to do something different every year in one way or another.
Mike, you and I both, I can tell the passion in your voice. We are so excited for Great Lakes Comic Con 2018 to happen. And you know, me and Ben, we're also going to be doing a little things of ourselves too.
Have some fun, yeah.
We're going to have some fun. We thought of a cool little game idea. Ben, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, one of the biggest questions we always got about Comic Con and like people asking us about what is it actually like for those who haven't actually been here, what we decided to do is both take $50. And what we're going to do is show you how far $50 can get you.
Yeah, from getting into the door
Yep.
and then getting into the door, going from snacks to all the cool gaming and toys and apparel.
If you want a comic, we're gonna buy a comic. We're gonna, you know, find the toys, and we're basically just gonna show you how far $50 can get you a day at Great Lakes Comic Con 2018.
So don't think, you know, coming here you have to spend money. You can definitely check out all the free activities.
No doubt about it, and not only like video games and pinball and stuff like that, but just in a little while, I'm going to be hanging out with some board gaming experts, people who are bringing in their very own created board games. They're going to teach me how to play their board games, and of course there's going to be all the games like Magic the Gathering and all those kind of games that I'm going to attempt to learn as well.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've never played any of those, so I cannot wait to see what you're going to do with that.
I'm not very good at board games, so this may take a while. The magic of television editing, I guess, we'll have for that. But yeah, we'll be bringing you all the cool board games that people bring here and create on their own, and we'll be learning those games. Yeah.
And once again, the theme of this Comic-Con this year is heroes and villains. So I'm going to walk the Comic-Con floor and try and find out who really is the most, you know, popular, the hero or the villain. I'm going to see who it is, what their favorite movie is, just see what the consensus is on the floor, what's going on.
And something brand new this year, I tell you what, this Great Lakes Comic-Con 2018
so excited.
is basically bursting at the seams. They had to bring in the Detroit Institute of Art, the DIA is bringing in their mobile unit that's going to be parked outside of Macomb Community College. And basically it's going to be a classroom setting. I'm going to go in there, hang out with them, and they're going to try and teach me art. It's nearly an impossible task. I can promise you that, but if anyone could do it, it's the Detroit Institute of Art, so we'll be showing you that as well. But that's just kind of telling you how big this event just gets from 2017 to 18. They got to bring someone in to just park outside and have people come to them. They can't fit in Macomb Community College anymore. It's incredible.
I was talking to Mike, and he actually said they wanted it in here, but there's not enough space anymore. There's just so much vendors and activities and you know, guests.
Yeah.
But, you know, Ben, we previewed 2017.
Yes.
We previewed 2018.
Yes.
What's left to come?
2018, showing you everything.
We're going to show you everything. So stay tuned. Once again, I'm Paul Smith. This is Ben Smith, and we're going to bring you so much action over the next 2 days.